I am Tel with Oshawa Bushcraft. Today we are not far from Georgian Bay, Ontario, where Oshawa Bushcraft is on a winter backcountry camping trip. After I showed you guys the crate of surplus army equipment I bought, several of our members reached out to me to buy all sorts of pieces. And one of the very popular pieces was the Canadian Forces combat jacket that you see me wearing here today. Here we are at our first trip to camp since then, and some of our members have showed up wearing not only the Army version of that jacket, but the Air Force and the Navy versions as well. We thought this would be a good opportunity to show you guys some of the things they have in common and some of the differences. Why you might need to know this is that with the Army switching over all of its uniforms to the new CADPAT pattern, there's a ton of these green jackets on the market right now, and they're very reasonably priced. One of the first things we should cover is identifying the jacket, because earlier I referred to it as a combat jacket. In the Army, we also refer to it as the three-season jacket or the Gore-Tex jacket, and a surplus store could call it anything. When in reality, it is called the Parka Cold Wet Weather, and it is identified by a patch on the inside lower right of the jacket that also gives you the jacket size. Now, these jackets are sized in inches in a 4-digit code. So an example for my jacket, it is a 73/48, which is my height in inches and my chest size in inches. A cool tip, if you're trying to identify the size of a jacket and that patch is worn out or been defaced, you can also find the size written in little tabs in some of the pockets. To be clear, I referred to this as a Gore-Tex jacket because sometimes that's what we called it, but there's no tags on these anywhere that identify them as having any Gore-Tex in them. They're just a nylon jacket. Furthermore, the Army refers to them as a parka, but there is no insulation in these. They are just a nylon shell. Looking specifically at the features of the Army jacket, it has 2 elastic drawstrings, one at the bottom and one at your midsection, and has 4 big pockets in the front. The bottom pockets are just large cargo pockets with a button closure, and they do have dividers inside for holding rifle mags. The top pockets are chest pockets, and they are zippered vertically. All 4 of these pockets are well designed and very convenient to have. They're a good place to keep hats and gloves and your shemang and your cell phone and spare batteries. They actually work very well and they're very convenient to have in the field. The Army jacket has a 5th external pocket mounted to the right bicep, and it's just a zippered pocket about the size of a pack of cigarettes. These jackets also feature 2 internal pockets. They have a Velcro closure, one on each breast, and they were known as a mat pocket. It's also a good place to keep anything you want to keep dry in the rain or things you want to keep warm in the cold, like maybe your camera batteries. A cool feature that's exclusive to the Army model of these jackets is what we called pit zips. They were zippers in the armpits that would allow you to ventilate a little bit if you were overheating on a hike or on a patrol without having to take the whole jacket off. The combat jacket pairs well with the CF issue fleece because they have matching pit zips in them that you can use together. Another cool feature of these jackets is they have the hood that rolls up into a compartment behind your collar. Another cool feature of these jackets is they have a zipper that runs along what would be the small of your back that you can open and turn it inside out, and the jacket becomes its own carrier pouch. This is a great feature, like especially on a trip like this one. On the trail, you start overheating a little bit. You want to take your jacket off, but your pack's already full. You don't have anywhere to put it. It has its own sling on it that's adjustable. You can just throw it over your shoulder. This is the Air Force version of the Parka Cold Wet Weather we just looked at. It is functionally the same. Obviously it's blue and has some other small differences. Starting at the bottom here, these front pockets are Velcro now and no longer have magazine dividers in them. And they have a second exterior pocket, I suppose, to keep your hands warm. So as opposed to having the oversized Army buttons on this front flap, they're actually snaps now. And the bicep pocket has moved from the right arm to the left in the Air Force model and is a little fancier now. It still has a zippered compartment, but it also has a Velcroed compartment for holding pens. This particular Air Force jacket still has epaulets on it. Those have been missing from the Army jackets for a very long time. This is the Naval Parka Cold Wet Weather, or as we're going to call it, the black one. This particular one is much too small for me to do up. It is functionally the same as the Air Force jacket. It has those Air Force Velcro pouches in the front, although this one is missing any bicep pockets at all. The naval jacket does have one unique feature. They have concealable high visibility panels on both wrists and on both chests. I don't know why. This has been our look at the Canadian Forces Parka cold wet weather. Now, maybe you've seen these advertised locally, maybe at your local surplus store, and you were thinking about picking one up. I do have a few pieces you should take away from this. The first point to take away from this is that these are not warm jackets. There's very little, if any, insulation in them. They call them a parka. It is not a winter jacket. You need to layer up if you want to wear these in the cold. Second point is that they are very durable. They're an excellent jacket for the field. You can go out and cut firewood in them, run a chainsaw, no problem. They'll stand up to a lot of rip and abrasion. The third point to consider is that these are very heavy. My jacket weighs 4 pounds empty. That's a lot of weight. You can find a puffer jacket down to 1 pound. I hope you found this informative, guys. If you're interested in buying one of these jackets, you can still reach out to me through the Facebook group. I still have a few laying around. Thank you for watching today. And until next time, go outside. YouTube will still be here when you get back.